Alright guys, David with you again. Today we are playing with another 6L80. Like I've said many times, we love these things, but this one happens to belong to a friend of ours, Timmy Ray. He's a big old goober and loves to go out and street race and do stupid stuff, and we don't condone that type of activities here. You guys that are watching, we don't condone breaking the law in any way, shape, or form of racing. But
this was all done in Mexico.
This was 100% in Mexico. Guys got passports everywhere. Anywho, he's upgrading the car this year and just wants to take a look inside the transmission, see how it's doing. We built this unit in April of 2019. The converter that was in it was a Circle D triple disc 245. It had the same tag on it, April of 2019. So we're going to see what all of the abuse has done to the inside of it. Don't know what we're going to find, but we're hopeful to find something. I don't know. He's got, 20,000 miles of goofing off involved, so we'll see what we got.
Goofing off, I like to say beating the brakes off of it.
Yeah. Dude's stuck. Yahtzee! How's it look coming out?
Don't look too bad.
Alright. Look at that! That don't look half bad at all. Got a little bit of material on the magnet, but overall that's not too terrible right there.
There we go.
Yeah, just a little bit on it. It's definitely stuck. All right, rip the valve body off of it. Yep, this one definitely has a sonnax kit in it. I remember that now. See these little inserts right here? That is not a factory deal right there. Sonnax has some inserts that they like to use. You drive into the center support and it helps keep the center support seal intact for guys that are turning the pressure up a little bit and goofing off. It's stuck. I didn't get my Hercules strength out today. I'll just sit back out inside. looks good. Not seeing any major signs of bushing failure or anything like that, bearing failure or anything, so. Got a little bit of, just a little bit of wear on the reaction shaft there. Go ahead and set that to the side. All right, time for the big yellow things.
Them guys.
Can never go wrong with the big yellow things. You can see this is back before we had the big yellow things. You see all these scratch marks in there. That's because there's no other good way to get that turkey out of there. Some guys like to use shears for like shearing or cutting bushes and stuff. Dude, I'm serious. You'd be surprised how many people I've seen use garden shears. I don't recommend doing it with garden shears, but a grinder and a good pair of garden shears, you can get that turkey out of there. Now we got to figure out what size those center support deals are, so we can pop them out of there. I don't remember what size they are. There we go. Get one of those little guys in there. See if we can't get that dude to pull out of there.
I guess they're threaded? Yep. Yep. 2 or 3 threads right in the end of them. Like I said, this is actually part of the sonnax zip kit, which I am a huge fan of. I've been using those things for a while now. They just work really well. Even in a stock application, somebody that's not going to be going to the scenic streets of Mexico, I still recommend putting them on. 4 in there or just 2 or 4? No, they're steel. They're good little plugs. They definitely seat into the housing really nicely. Somebody chewed the teeth off the fuel bar. Yeah. This is a multi-purpose fuel bar.
At one point in time, it was specifically for invoice 4,500 days. Pull the center support out. Oh no! Planetary won't come out. I'll tell you, take the big nut off the back. Oh. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Let's take this thing a little further apart. There's nothing really interesting back here besides the Planetary. I'm curious to see what the clutches look like, knowing that it's had so much abuse.
They don't look that horrible.
Holy turkeys. Look at those guys. Those are beautiful, aren't they?
They don't look bad at all. Very few hot spots.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah, just a little bit of wear here and there. I mean, overall.
I don't know why they'd have hot spots.
I don't know, man. Mexico things, you know. One issue we've seen a lot of with these guys is this rear sprag. Guys will be aggressive with them and not have their clutch volume index and clutch fill index set right on the tune, and the clutches come on too quickly or the sprag can't release and creates tie-ups and blows that rear sprag apart. But dude, look at them. Them are some good looking clutches. So there's one set. Let's see what we got inside of the big drums here. If I remember right, when we built this, we put a new shell in it. Something that we've gone to since then is where we actually go through and we TIG weld the back of the shell, and then we chuck it up in the lathe and machine it down and get a really nice finish on it. This one will definitely get some love to it. Our Planetary out of the way there. Thrust washer out of there. This clutch is going to be my the best bet on any type of damage inside of this guy, just because of the clearance it's got in it. Yeah, baby.
Not as good as the rest of them.
Not as good as the rest of them. Whew. I'd say it was definitely time for a refresher. And you guys can see that we use the sonnax piston in this guy. One of the biggest reasons we use that sonnax piston and that channel, or that sonnax plate, sonnax gives you this plate that actually helps keep the clutches flat whenever they're applying, and that makes a lot of difference. So
Now is that, we'll have to have a new one, or can you reuse that, or is it still good?
no, whenever we build these things, regardless of when it was built last or who built it last or anything like that, this always gets replaced. These two pistons are a must every time. Same thing with the bushing. Another thing, snap ring. Anytime these guys get built, that snap ring, the pistons, everything inside of there needs to be changed. Some guys don't think that way, but that's just the way we do things. We're either going to replace it right and do all of it, or we ain't going to do it.
A little heat there too.
Just a little bit, but
Not horrible, but
not horrible for a Raybestos clutch that really isn't designed for big horsepower. Those guys look pretty darn good. They make a lot of different types of clutches for these things, Raybestos, Alto, and Automatic, and there's just so many options. And as you can tell, this thing has multiple different types of clutches in it. Some guys say you can't mix clutches, and oh my God, the world's going to end if you mix your clutches. Well, it seems to work for us. See if we can get this grumper to work. Come here. That dude's stuck.
didn't have the right angle of the dangle.
Yep.
Those look really good.
Well, those look just absolutely beautiful, don't they?
Almost like brand new.
Yeah, almost just damn near. So, and another deal you guys can see, this has got the sonnax billet forward piston in it. That's another thing that we always insist on, regardless if you're putting a new GM drum or aftermarket drum, whatever the hell you're putting in it. But that piston should always be addressed. So, let's take the pump apart and see what we got inside of it. Somebody stole my 8mm socket. Damn turds.
Probably that junk old Ford motor in there.
Probably. At least it's not my 10. I'd rather it be my 8 than my 10. Either way, we got to spare both, because just can't have enough. Just so many bolts. Better than the torque light, though.
The heck's a torque plate?
Old Chrysler training. The newer ones have so many freaking bolts in them, though. All right. So, as you can see inside of that guy, I don't know how good your eyeballs are there, but it does have the sonnax valve in it, and that pump really doesn't feel too bad on the stator side. We're gonna recut it since we're here and add some shims to set our in play back to what we need it to be. But overall, this thing's actually in pretty good shape. I mean, a little bit of metal here and there, or a little bit of clutch material here and there, but this is another area. Some guys replace it, some guys don't. I bet you I've got 100 of these things used laying around in here, but anytime we build them, it always gets a new pump. Really not too bad, but we'll go ahead and chuck it up in the lathe and cut the bell housing, get that surface back, get our stator surface back.
Looks like somebody's scratched it or something before, like it was.
Yeah, used
Kinda.
to. I used a homestone on them every time,
That's-
just to make sure of flatness. But we'll chuck it up in the lathe and do it a little different this time. We've come a little ways in a few years and got a little bit better technology and a little
More
bit better
equipment.
tools. So, but overall, this thing's in fairly decent shape. You think we ought to break the filter apart, make sure we don't have any brass or something coming apart that we're not seeing here? Maybe we got Planetary washer coming out or converter material that we're not seeing. Maybe somebody actually took care of it and serviced it. So.
I doubt it's been serviced. Not saying nothing bad, but I doubt it's been
You're
serviced.
right.
Huh?
It probably hasn't been serviced ever.